So I have something a little different from y'all. I have been doing this mobility, or a variation of this mobility routine, every morning now. So now I have this one. I actually just started this morning, where I'm doing it every day. And I did this last night just to kind of test it out, and also just to do some extra mobility work. So everything you see is in 1.5 speed, but this is like the perfect combo of upper and lower body mobility work between bands and body weight stuff. So I just start with some shoulder dislocates. For me, everything's going to be between like 10 and 15 repetitions. This one I did a little extra, a few of them I think I did 20. But regardless, again, this is not how fast it is. Please, again, remember this is in 1.5 speed. If I didn't say that already, I might not have. So yeah, it's in 1.5 speed. But regardless, I have already noticed just from these past couple weeks of doing variations of mobility work that my joints, especially up through like my rotator cuffs and tendons and ligaments in my shoulders, feel phenomenal. So we start with those shoulder dislocates. Then we have just a basic lat stretch, which this is like, again, just we're applying enough tension. I had to kind of make some adjustments after this as well. But we're doing each side of this, we're doing for like 20 to 30 seconds, like a 20 to 30 count. So it might be a little quicker, just kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of count like that, and just really opening up those lats, turning into it ever so slightly and allowing them to extend forward just enough to where we can feel tension from that band, but not anything super crazy. Again, remember, this is mobility work, not strength training. So that's the second movement I do. Then just some basic scapular depressions. Now this one, it's funny because you'd think it's really simple, just like allowing your arm to stretch forward and then pulling and retracting back with your scapula. But to be honest with you, it's something that it's not, I don't want to say it's hard, it's not challenging, but it feels different. You know what I mean? I'm not used to really depressing that scapula like that. So again, here on this one, we'll do, about 15 reps per side. I think this one I did, again, in this video, I think I did closer to 20 reps per side for everything. But for me, I kind of found that sweet spot at about 15, where everything still, felt really good. But yeah, guys, I'm going to be doing this every morning, minus the one day that I choose in my training week where I take a complete rest day. That day, I probably will not do anything, including mobility work, so I don't do cardio that day. I don't do core work, anything like that. But other than that, guys, every other day, so 6 out of the 7 days per week, on average, I will be doing this in the morning. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes, so make sure that you're cognizant of that. I think you could really get into the rhythm and nail 15 minutes, or maybe even slightly under. But 15 minutes to help you improve your mobility and like longevity within the sport of bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, whatever you're doing, I think is phenomenal. Then we have some face pulls up to, essentially, what is that? External rotation, I believe it's called. I don't know, some sort of rotation, like for the rotator cuffs. You'll see as the set goes on, I widen my grip a little bit and it becomes a lot more comfortable. So we're like rowing it back. And again, this is sped up. Please remember that. But rowing it back and then rotating up towards the ceiling and really allowing those rotator cuffs to open up with very minimal tension, but with tension still. So felt really, really good. So yeah, I really like this combo. I do this kneeling, so I didn't have anything to anchor the band onto, like up on the ceiling or anything. So you just got to make do with what you got, man. I got a recumbent bike. I put some 35-pound dumbbells that we had on the back of it to like weight it down. So when I pulled on bands or whatever, it didn't like move the bike around. Works like a dream. Then here's I know for sure external rotations. The only thing that I did different, you'll kind of see as my set goes on here, I changed it a little bit, is I would bring the hand closer to like the sternum, or like bringing the hand, rotate it in a little bit more, just a little bit, but felt really, really good. Again, this would be 15 reps per side. Guys, nothing super, super crazy, but just getting those shoulders nice and lubricated and opened up. And I'm not kidding you. I just finished a push session a little while ago, and I promise you, I'm not making this up, already with just like being relatively consistent with mobility work in the past, and then really, really finding this particular routine for me, has absolutely 100% already improved my rotator cuffs. I felt it. Like they just felt like fresh when I was like working out today when I was warming up and getting in there. And, I have like my own little mini warm up mobility work I do, much smaller version of this before I get into training. And it felt awesome. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, it's like, it makes me excited, like so excited to continue to train as hard as I am. I felt like I could push more weight. I felt like everything was just ready to rock and roll, not tight, not like I was risking and compromising anything. It just felt awesome. So again, take a couple steps away from wherever you're anchoring this. Do it about waist height. 15 reps per hand works great. Then these ones are called wall slides. So essentially what I'm trying to do is, rotate my hands up towards the wall and rest them on the wall and actually continue to apply that rotation pressure backwards, and then just press the hands straight up. It's to be honest with you, I was actually pretty happy with how comfortable this felt. A lot of people were like, oh, I can't do this one at all. So again, I'm pretty happy with how mobile this felt, and a big part of that was obviously being very warmed up and primed up for this one. But again, 10 to 15 reps, just straight up the wall. I kind of just glide my knuckles up the wall. I'm not trying to slam my hands into the wall, but again, just kind of keep them, externally rotated, or, I don't know, whatever that term is, rotated up towards it. So then we have some wall chest openers. You can do this with a band as well. Anchor a band and, hold that kind of behind you. I do it old school though, kind of make a 90-degree angle with my arm and drive that hand and elbow into the wall and then just twist the body in the opposite direction. Really, really good for opening up that chest. 20 to 30 count per side here. And this is a simple one, man. Simple one. I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking and a lot of explaining. I feel like I'm almost almost losing my breath here. But phenomenal stuff. I believe that was the end of the upper body. Yes, now we move on to the lower body. These are called squat prayers. So again, much slower here. This is all at 1.5 speed as a reminder. So think of doing an adductor machine, but in a squatting like a full, deep, basically as deep as you can comfortably go squat. And we're just prying those knees open with the arms. That's it. And then adducting those knees towards each other and applying pressure with the arms to kind of slow it down. Then something I am terrible at, so please know that this just shows my lack of hip mobility, and I am totally okay with that. You don't always have to post everything perfectly. But these are, what are they called? 90-90 hip twists, hip openers, something like that. I don't know. But essentially you're trying to form two 90-degree angles, and without actually touching the floor with your hands, or using anything to apply any kind of pressure, to help stabilize you. You're just essentially trying to touch the opposite, or touch your knee to the opposite end of the floor, turn like that, and create two 90-degree angles. Then we have what are called hip airplanes. I started with a very basic variation of this. Essentially all you're trying to do is put one leg up in the air and then just outwardly twist that leg. I would recommend looking up tutorials of these if you see this and are I'm not 100% sure how I'm doing this. Again, this was my first time doing some of these movements, and then I did this whole routine this morning. Felt phenomenal before I did my core work and cardio. Essentially just think of trying to twist your lower body one leg at a time, without twisting your upper body, or very minimally twisting your upper body. So we're just trying to open up those hips. I've felt that it actually kind of helps open up the knee a little bit. I would just recommend whatever leg you're balancing on, make sure you hinge it a little, so just bend a little for stabilization purposes for sure. And then this one apparently is called the greatest stretch ever. I thought this was really good, and dude, it felt really good. The only thing I'm going to work on is making sure that my back leg stays straighter rather than hinged and bent like that. But I just did 3 of these rotations per side, and it felt awesome. I can see why they call it the greatest stretch ever. As far as just upper and lower body and your hips and your knees and everything like that. It felt really, really good. And it was really, really, I loved it. It was awesome. It felt really good here. When I went to this side especially, I actually felt pretty stable. I was pretty proud of this. I was able to rotate quite a bit. And again, for a guy who is just at kind of the beginning of his mobility journey, I was pretty stoked about how this felt, and felt really good this morning as well. So last movement here is just called the pigeon stretch, and essentially you're just taking one leg and essentially putting that knee out in front of your body and making sure that heel is lined up with the opposite knee and just leaning forward. And this one, for especially that outer portion of the glutes, picture doing an abductor machine, that same muscle group, outer thigh, outer glute. Dude, it was awesome. But anyways, guys, I'm going to close out here. This is something a little bit different, but again, I will be doing this essentially every day, minus one day per week where I have a full rest day. And just to try to stay as mobile as possible. I want to really do this bodybuilding thing forever, and I think mobility work is worth it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace!